by the booth and see it. We're 8:05 over there, and my marketing manager would be very upset if I didn't say 3 o'clock. We were having 125th anniversary over there. Beer and brats for everybody. Being a German company, we're gonna do German bratwurst. And so starts at 3, goes to about 4:30, and there's some root beer too. So with that said, to color it, please come ask some questions about it. And then today we're gonna put magic oil on top of it over on this side, which is our 2-component penetrating oil. Keep moving, Mike.
Sorry for that.
Okay, so now maybe we're up and running. So now we get to hear Michael. So this is our German. Okay, now it's all dead again. Wow. Okay. Can you hear? Still on the microphone? Okay. Okay. So German. This is Michael Garbe. He's our German technician. Been friends for about 10 years now. Very fortunate to be able to work with them. He is responsible for practical application testing of all the material that comes to America for us. So he's very important to me and to us and all the contractors, because he's the final word on if it comes to America or not. I don't know why a man this tall would work on flooring. If it was me, I'd be changing light bulbs or something. But that said, we're very happy to have him. He happens to come over to the U.S. a couple times a year, help us in the marketplace here. So we'll bounce back and forth a little bit. But so again, we've got 2 color down here. We did this yesterday. This is the weathered oak color. It's a 5-hour dry time, so we did this yesterday. So on this side, we're gonna put down our 2-component penetrating oil, industry leading durability, everything. So we're gonna put neutral on top of here and just kind of show you how that goes and what it looks like. So that's gonna provide the finish over here. And then on this side, we'll be putting down our Pall-X Stealth. This product's been out in the European market for about 10, 12 years now.
Yes, of course.
We've made some modifications to make it more applicable to the American market. There's a lot of differences that maybe Michael could explain better than me of how they do things in Europe to how we do things here. We brought it out we've been testing it for a long time, brought it out a year ago, but this is to generate absolutely no sheen. This is a 4 on the GU meter, so it's the dullest product on the market at this point once it's said and done. So we'll put that on this side to kind of, and then come by the booth. We've got a couple samples that are already dry, and you can see what this product looks like. Really to generate that raw appearance, or just with no sheen is required at all. 2-component hardened product, goes down about 650, 700 square feet per gallon, and it's our most chemical resistant product that we have in our lineup. So it's a little bit different concept in the thin mill thickness, but a very high solid count, and the technology. So it is the most chemical resistant product that we have in the product line, but it does go down a little bit differently. And again, we'll put it down, we'll show you the application. Very, very easy to work with. Obviously, we're not gonna be able to see it dry in the next half hour, so swing by the booth, we can show you one dry. So with that said, let's go ahead and mix up some magic oil. With magic oil on top of 2 color, because the floor is already so well sealed, the application of this is very similar to doing a 2nd coat of magic oil. Magic oil is a 2-coat process, and this would be much more similar to doing the 2nd coat of magic oil, in that the product's gonna go really, really far. So once we get it mixed up, 2-component product, it's gonna mix at a 4-to-1 ratio. So you open, stir component A, there'll be a little bit of wax on the bottom. Michael will pull the pencil up and show some of the wax that settles to the bottom and why you need to stir it. So go ahead and start stirring.
So first of all, hello for everybody. Now my microphone is working, so I can explain also a little bit. Sorry for my German English, so it's not the best one, but I'm sure the product speaks for themselves. So we started here with to color it, the last layer, the magic oil on top. So we have, in our range, we have the mixing cup. It's 4-to-1, so you fill up the oil to A, and the hardener to B, and you mix it, and then you have exactly 4-to-1 when you don't need the whole bucket on the job site. Important is, it's a oil wax combination, so the wax is on the bottom, the oil is inside on the top, so you have to mix it first with a perfect Pallmann pencil. You go in and you feel, maybe you can see it in the, you have a yellow wax on the button, on the top is just oil. So you see the oil on the top, it's more brown, and the yellow one is the wax, and you have to mix it first inside, that everything looks yellow. That is the right mixing. No, you can't shake it, you have to mix it because the wax is it's on the button. When you shake it, it's not fully mixed inside. So the best thing is with the stick, not a half hour, just 20 seconds. Now it's gone. You feel it in normally when you have a big room, you can feel the hardening inside, mix it, and you start it. But here on the small area, we need just a small amount of the oil. So we have the 4-to-1. Fill up to A. Fill up the hardener to B. Mix it. It's also a mixing. This is not a mixing. You have to mix it a little bit harder. We are real men, so we mix it a little bit harder. That's it. So now you can start. You have more than 2 hours time for the application. Here we have stained, and we have the first layer with the two color it, and now you need some only just some drops on the floor. So you apply it a little bit on the floor. First, you need a little bit more because it sucks a little bit inside the pad. Of course, the best thing is when you polish it with our spider. You can sand the floor with the spider and you can polish it. You have a very nice light around you so that you can see, okay, there is some drops, there is a little bit less oil, so you can start. It's an easy start. You have 2 seconds time before it's start. You can make it very fast, but with the oil we do it very slow. Otherwise the oil is up to the wall. So we polish it very slow. It's a very smooth polishing. First it needs a little bit more.
And so in this case, a little bit of oil is going to go a very long way because the two-colored is a very good sealer. So all we're adding is the little bit of oil and a little bit of wax. Typically, magic oil on a first coat is going to go anywhere from 300 to 400 square feet. In this situation, we're going to go 800 to 900 square feet per liter. So it just is, because the floor is already 95% full of the two-component stain.
So you apply the oil with the red pad that you're sure, okay, everywhere is the same amount, everywhere is oil on it. With the spider, you can work with this machine in every size what you have on the job site. So I'm a little bit taller, he's a little bit smaller, so you can go down in his size. And you can polish it also for smaller guys, for example. It's your size, or?
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it's your
close.
size. So then the floor, everything is on the floor. We go on the right side again. We switch the pad. Don't forget the ring by the door. You polish it by hand. Go it away. The right pad is now that the wax is polishing. It will be a little bit warmer. The wax goes up and make a perfect surface on the floor. soft start again. Very easy to polish it with this machine. Go inside. You see everything. Oh, there is something wrong with the oil. We can come. We see everything with the nice light ring around this machine. You come directly to the edges, to the corners. Polish it. Bring the footprints away. Very easy. Very simple.
So then, this product now, 3 to 4 hours to walk across, 12-hour cure, life as normal, the floor is completely done at that point. So that would be the Magic Oil system over to color it. And again, mix the oil. You've got more than enough time to work with it. If you need to stop and mix more oil, you can stop. You have legitimately, once it's on the floor, you have over an hour to kind of blend back together. So there's no rush to stop in the middle of a thing. Very similar to color it, in that you can stop here, cross grain, go mix up some more. Like, oh, I have 50 square feet left. I didn't mix up quite enough. Mix that up. This can sit. I've let this sit for over an hour and blended that line back together, no problem, with every single color in the line. Magic Oil is very similar in that once it's down, you're not rushing. You have plenty of time to work with it. Take your time, polish it out. At this point, really the only mistake you can make is to leave a little bit of excess oil on the floor. You do want to buff it till it's basically, you're not seeing any swirls or drips anywhere. At that point, the oil is going to work properly. If it is designed to bind with the wood fiber, so if there is excess oil left on the surface, it's not going to perform properly. So at this point, literally the only mistake you can make now is to not remove all the excess product. So your first time running through Magic Oil, please reach out to any of our territory managers. We'd love to work with you, show it to you. But also, once you're done here, get out, clean up your area. Your very first job, just take a clean white pad and just buff over it one more time, just to be totally safe. You could not over buff it. It would not be possible with the white pads. With a terry cloth rag, you maybe could buff it, maybe take a little bit too much off. With a white pad, you really can't. So just for your first job, just make sure that all the excess is gone. So that's the Magic Oil system. You're going to generate a very low luster, very natural feel. You're going to still see some grain and some openness. That's the to color it with Magic Oil on top. Then on this side, same base layer. So here we're going to require 2 coats of finish on top of this. So it could be either done with our one component product, Pall-X Power. It could be done with any of the finishes. In this case, we're going to put Stealth on for the particular look and to show stealth. But so we would do 1 build coat, let that dry, abrade it, put our final coat on. That would be the waterborne system on top of 2 coloring. So we're going to eliminate the stain, sealer, and then 2 coats of finish. This process is the stain and sealer as one, go directly to 2 coats of finish. So there is 2 rollers in the line now, millimeter size.
8 millimeter. So we have the 11 millimeter, the regular water-based roller, and we have now the 8 millimeter roller. And RJ explain why we have a shorter.
Yep. So this has been this is our standard roller for all of our waterborne finishes in the line. This is for the products that we're putting down between 450 to 500 square feet per gallon, which is going to be clear, color, 96, power, and gold. So that would be this roller. Nature Seal, White Seal, and Stealth, which are going to go on at that 650, that 6 to 650 number. That's going to be the thinner nap roller. Just as easier to control a thinner amount. So that's the difference between the two. With a little practice, they can all be done with this one. With Stealth, you'll see the viscosity of it. We do like it rolled as opposed to T-barred. I physically can't T-bar any product. I'm just really, really bad at it. So I converted to rolling a long time ago. But it's the easiest way to control the amount of finish that's on the floor.
So the quality of our rollers, it's very high. So it's very soft. It sucks a lot of materials inside. You feel it. This roller don't lose any hair. So this is absolute practical on the job site, that you have not after the application of the lacquer any hairs in your lacquer. So it's very soft, and we apply now our newest member in the family, Pallmann family. The Pall-X Stealth is a very, very matte system.
And so So it's going to come packaged in a box like this every time, so there's no fear of losing the hardener. It comes together. One hardener will activate 1 gallon. It is a 10-to-1 ratio if you're mixing up partials, and it comes with the filter in. The reason we don't put the filter inside of here first is because the viscosity on this is a little bit heavy and it takes longer to drain through the filter. So with that said, that's the reason that this comes separate. There'd be no reason to secondary filter it. With the 42% solid count in here and all the matting agents, it's important to shake this jug very vigorously. And so all of the Pallmann jugs are designed, they're designed to stack, but this formation causes a break, and so this is the recommended shaking matter. And some people do it by time. I can't keep track of time that way, so I just count the number of shakes that I do. So I'll typically do 25 to 30 snaps like this. And again, this is everything in the Pallmann line can physically not be overshaken. It's impossible. The defoamers are literally industry leading, so there's no fear of overshaking anything. If you do undershake it, you could develop some streaking because you need to incorporate all the matting agent that's in it. So this gets shaken very well. Again, if we were going to mix up a smaller amount, we could use the same mixing cup. We're going to go ahead and mix the whole gallon just to show how that's done. So that gets mixed. Give this just a couple shakes, just because, not any real particular reason, but I have to shake everything before I use it. So, and then allow this to drain in. It is an isocyanate secondary component for drying and ultimately to help in the chemistry for the durability side. So once that's all the way in, with any 2-component product, this is not a great time to take a phone call or go to the bathroom because the viscosities are different. That isocyanate is settled on the bottom, the chemical reactions are happening. So you want to shake it within that first minute. You don't want to let this sit for 5 minutes in this state. And then, so give it another 20-ish shakes to get it totally incorporated. And so one of the alterations that we've made, so in the European market, at this point, this is drill mixed. So it's a different, conceptually it's different. We did not feel that we could really instruct the American, I mean, everybody's used to shaking here, so we didn't feel we could really make that application work in America, so they've made a bunch of alterations to it to make it a shakeable product. So well shaken. Any 2-component product should sit for a minute or two just to allow the chemical reactions to start and to relax.
So RJ showed the right shaking. So most I come to a job site and then they are thinking they are shaking the bucket, and this is not shaking. This is not shaking. This is not shaking. So like RJ did, this is a real shaking. You can shake it also otherwise, but you need some power inside the bucket to shake inside the hardener.
And again, every Pallmann product, it cannot be overshaken. The fear of overshaking product is defoamer, that they'll become foamy and you won't be able to lay down. Everything in this line, the defoamers are, they're unprecedented. So we're going to show, this is one of the ways to apply it. It's kind of the proper or easiest way to get the right amount of product down on the floor with the roller method. There is a way to do this, pouring it directly on the floor. Ultimately, the main thing with this one is we're going to paint it on thin, and we're not requiring any level or flow to happen. We're going to paint it out the way that it is. It's very, very forgiving, unless you put it on at 300 square feet per gallon. It's not designed to work that way. It is designed to work at a thinner mill thickness.
So you can apply it directly on the floor, but we want to dip it in a bucket. We show it now like we do it in schools. So I show the American version how you can apply it. So very thin. It's important that you hear the roller. It's very important. Normally we say, okay, 120, 130 milliliter per square meter, but here it's important that you do it very thin.
So Michael, that doesn't mean a lot to most of the people in the room. The milliliters per
sorry.
liter.
Maybe you translate it in American.
So most of the product line is going to be 450 to 500 square feet per gallon. This product is 650 to 650 very comfortably. It can actually go a little bit thinner and it's also fine. But we really don't want this one down at 400 square feet per gallon. With the matting agents present, it just doesn't work quite the same now. So I've been with Pallmann 10 years now, and I've spent most of that time trying to convince contractors to put the product on a little bit thicker. All of these products are designed to work by mill thickness, and everything in the line until recently has been at 450 to 500 square feet per gallon. This one's a little bit different. The chemistry in it's completely different. The solid count is completely different. The chemical resistance is not required by that mill thickness. The thinner, right to the point of the thinner the better is almost the right statement.
So we show, okay, our products works perfectly. Also when stupid German are apply the lacquer, so we do it in all directions. And you see it in the end of the day, you will see it levels perfectly. You see no overlapping, no stop marks with this product. The important thing is that you write it nearly the same amount everywhere, otherwise you have different drying times. But you can roll it in all directions, doesn't matter. We did it here. You can come back in an hour. You will see. You see no any marks, no any roller overlappings.
And then, as you can see, not that this is a huge area, but working time is not an issue with it. You can roll into this product continuously so no lapping lines in that way. The way, again, it's nearly solvent-free, so it is a little bit slower drying product. It also is a little bit slower curing. This product is even as a 2-component. This is still a 7-day full cure, so it's a little bit slower in the curing process. We could make it cure faster and dry faster, but we gave up some of the forgiveness. So it's always kind of a trade-off when you're developing waterborne or any kind of finish system. Workability to dry time, to affordability, to chemical resistance, to slip resistance, all those things have to go into play. So we went with a little bit slower drying, a little bit longer cure time to increase the forgiveness of products in this category. They sometimes can be a little challenging. So at that, this would sit. Again, this will be, you could have a customer walk across this in about 4 hours under most conditions. Next day they could walk on it and be fine. But no, just like any other product, no water, no cleaning, anything for 7 days. That is just a little bit of a slower cure. And again, that's just to gain the forgiveness on the product. So that's two different ways to finish over the top of 2-color it. Both are depending on the look and the feel that a client's wanting. This is actually going to have less sheen than the Magic Oil. The Magic Oil is going to create kind of a luster, but this will have that full urethane yield on top. So whereas Magic Oil, you'll still see and feel some grain. This will have the full urethane layer on top. That's kind of the two differences. And again, it could be done up in sheen with, we could take it all the way up to power with the gloss at a 65 if you want a super shiny floor. So any of the finishes are compatible over the 2-color it. This is just the two different ideas. And if you do stick around for a couple minutes, this is a hard part of my job is watching finish dry. I promise you this, you will not think this is going to look good. When you come back once it's dry, it's completely gone. But if you kept it in the light right now, you can already see a lot of roller marks in there and everything. It's very scary. It's something I had to learn coming from contracting to this job. Washing finish dry is really hard. You don't think it's going to work, and ultimately, you can go home at night and know for a fact that it's going to work just fine. So, like I said, that's the two different ways to finish over the top of 2-color it. Again, would love to chat with you about 2-color it. It's just such an incredible advancement to our industry. A 5 VOC coloring system that looks like a normal solvent-based stain, but completely safe to be around, completely forgiving. And then just, 1 coat of Magic Oil or 2 coats of finish on top of it. So we're saving a whole step around the floor as well in that way. So I'd love to chat with you about that. Any questions about the Magic Oil or the Stealth in that regard? And what we saw today, so we did a pretty good job, I guess. No questions. So it's awesome. So, and again, this is going to take a minute to dry. If you want to see it dry, please come by the booth. Again, we've got brats and beer and root beer starting at 3 o'clock. And yeah, it's our 125th anniversary. Okay, so the question was, how easy is it to touch up the stain? And I'm going to tell you, it's very similar to touching up a solvent-based stain. There's not a, I was a contractor 25 years before coming over to Pallmann. Repairs are more art than science. And there are certainly systems to repair it. I'm not going to say it's easier, I'm not going to say it's harder. It's very similar to repairing any stain. There are certain parts of repairing it that are definitely easier. Over a water pot floor, if you get a toe drag or a knee pad drag and you crush the grain, you get a lighter line. I think that's much easier to repair onto coloring. A hard refrigerator scratch or something, it's going to be very similar. It'd be in my personal skill set, it would be a board isolation, taken down to raw wood and built back up in the same manner. So very similar in that way. Again, repair. It's not easier. It's not harder. And then, like everything else, we've developed some tricks to repairing it. A couple that I have found that are easier are definitely that you drug a toe or something and you have that little lighter colored line when you come back in the morning. That I have found much easier to repair in this than in the solvent-based stain. A refrigerator or chair scratch all the way through it, I found it to be very, very similar to that, where you take it, you re-prepare the grain, you water pop it, allow it to dry, build it back up in the same system. So it is, I would say it's no harder or easier in that manner. So, but the good part is that it's, the smell and the VOC thing is completely benign. It's 5 VOCs, smells like a natural oil. So that part is, in my world, is the most important part about two coloring. So, and then repairing the finishes, both of them are going to be, stealth, as long as you go in at the same coverage rate. If you have a single board or a board isolation you need to repair, as long as you go at the same coverage rate, it's very simple to repair. If you put it thicker, it's going to be a little bit more matte. There's physically more matting agent present. So as long as the same would be true in a regular waterborne finish, is that you have to try to match your coverage rate as you were doing the original coat. So we've seen guys that do a coat, they coat with a roller, they coat very thick, they come back and do the repair, they do a little bit thinner, it's shinier every single time with all the waterbornes. So in that way, it's very similar there. So, all right. So it's been a long day. Again, we'd love to see you over at booth 805, the big Pallmann banner. We'd love to chat with you about the product line and share some brats and some beer and some 125 years worth of stories.
See you in a couple minutes.
All right, thank you guys.